2020 Wise Long Track World Champion that actually miss Martin Smolinski a lot on the track. Kenneth Kruse Hansen is our guest tonight. But before that, we will go to Kuba. How are you, Kuba?
Hello.
Hi. So, how's life in Poland?
It's nice. We got super info from Poland.
Mm-hmm.
Bartek Zmarzlik had a kid.
Wow!
Yeah.
Congratulations! With champagne then.
Yeah, but congratulations is for Bartek and his fiancée. The newborn baby is Antek.
Okay.
I think he was world champion.
Yeah, the new world champion in next generation. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's great. Congratulations to Bartek Zmarzlik there with the new kid. What more happened in Poland? I heard that you will have problems now to go to the next city.
Yeah, we have a new restriction
Of course.
of Corona,
Mm-hmm.
and it's terrible. We can ride to the another city.
You
I
can go.
think. Yeah.
You can't travel to another city.
Yes. And the stadium for the first matches of the Speedway, it's close to the fans. Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah,
I
it's
want-
very sad, especially for
I
us
want
that plan
Speedway.
to. Yeah, and we plan to send you to do your job, but we will see how this goes.
Yeah.
Maybe we will be lucky. So Norway is all the way shut down now. It's nothing left. Everything is closed, and yeah. So we are used to it up here too. But we will see how it goes. You will keep me updated. Also next week, and your new ID cards is on the way. Gosha Mihalak is helping out with that, so she will make sure that you will have the accreditation cards ready
Yeah.
in the mail quite soon.
Yes.
It will be great. So you will go back to
So-
what will you do now? Will you just continue making sushi?
No, I want to be a real photographist
Yeah,
of the Speedway, of the wedding,
yeah.
of the another sports.
So
I will be.
So what's your plan? How you will do that?
I don't know.
You are quite good as a photographer. I've seen you work.
Yeah. Thanks. I think the new season
Yes.
it's the best for me,
Yeah.
and I will take beautiful photographs, pictures, and that's nice.
I think you will make it quite good because I know that you're a good worker, working hard, and love to do your passion.
Yes,
And
of course.
everything with photography, being artist, and also the speedway sport is a good combination. So we will see you next week then,
Okay.
and hopefully you'll have better news for us, or maybe a
Okay.
reportage
I
or
will.
something. Maybe if they have something in Piła. We
I
don't
will.
know. Yeah. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Get your favorite rider in a Speedway Canvas today. Buy them at speedwaycanvas.com. And here we are with Kenneth Kruse Hansen, the number 2 in the world in the long track championship last season. How are you, Kenneth?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you.
Yeah.
Nearly ready for the new season, so and exciting to be here talking to you.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you for joining us. We had a little short test, and it was like close, little bit too close for my comfort to this live broadcast. But we managed to do it quite well. So, what have you been doing now on this side of the season? This what we call silly season. What have you been doing this winter?
Um, well, training hard, obviously, and these past, let's say, 3 weeks, we've been moving house into a new house, and we are nearly there with our new workshop and so on. So obviously, also the normal things, training hard, running, cycling, and I'm doing martial arts as well. So we're trying to keep busy and be as ready as possible for the 2021 season.
Are you into martial arts too? Which kind of the martial arts?
I've been training Wing Chun, a Chinese martial art, for the past 3 seasons, and I really feel it's contributed to me getting a better racer, and also just gaining more confidence and better movement in general. So it's something I never thought about, and then somebody suggested it to me, and yeah, it's really made a difference for me.
So now you can do the spagat without killing your knees.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Maybe you should give that tip to Martin Smolinski.
Well, maybe I should, but I think I'm going to keep the tips close, when it comes to Martin. I heard that he wants to beat me, so I better keep him close.
He was here last week, and it was like insane. He's a great guy, a good ambassador for the Speedway sport. So it's quite good. It's fun to have it. I think he misses you too. How did you start with Speedway? When you were a kid, how did you get into the sport?
It's quite a funny story. I got an older brother. He's 23 years older than I am, and he was a professional in Halifax Dukes together with Kenny Carter in '84 and '85. So, you can say that when I was born, I was taking in the trolley to the Speedway track, and it sort of came in with the mother milk. So when I first, sorry,
no, so you are kind of born into the sport then.
Yeah, I would say so. My brother-in-law Lars Munkedal was a racer too, so I've been involved in somehow all my life, and I always wanted to be a racer.
What would you tell kids or families that like to come into this sport? How should they do that in Denmark?
Well, I think it's important that people don't get afraid or scared that it costs so much, because it doesn't have to. I think it's important that people can come into the sport from the street without spending a fortune. I think some of the guys that are in the sport now makes it more expensive than it has to be. So I think it's a great sport. It gives you many things. Friendships all over the world if you go out and travel, and you learn about motors and their functions. And I think also for some people like myself, it's kept me off the streets. I have many friends who ended up in bad stuff, and I had my racing, so I never felt an interest for that. So I think it's important to have something, a passion for something, and Speedway could be it for sure.
In Denmark, how's the numbers in Denmark now for kids Speedway, the 50cc, for example? Because Denmark's been the biggest nation in the world on 50cc.
Yeah,
dominating there.
Numbers for sure have been going the wrong way for X amount of years, and I think that has to do with the way things are run. It's too professional too early. It has to be fun. It's kids you got to do with. So I think it's keep it basic. People shouldn't come with 2 or 3 PV50s into the pits for one racer. I think they're sort of getting back to what it was when I was racing, because back then there were 400 or 500 racers on PV50s.
Yeah, it was like insane when you were a kid.
Yeah, and then that's something I think it's very important that we try and keep the cost low, because it quickly becomes a very expensive sport, which keeps many people away from it. And I think it's important that we try all to keep the cost down, you know.
I think that's something also Mark Lemon talked about when he was on the show earlier. He's also on this mission to try to turn this around, but not only for one nation, but for everyone, because he see that these numbers is going down, declining everywhere. So yeah. But
also, and I think, you know, you just look on 500cc an engine tuner. You know, an engine quickly costs 50,000 Danish kroner these days, and you know, I think it's maybe a little bit much for what it is. And but the problem is everybody wants a fast engine, and the fastest tuner in the world, he'll just ask a lot of money for it, and I think that's one of the issues, you know.
Yeah. I raced one full season, and that was loads of matches without, and I never used a top tuner ever.
No,
but my engine was never slow. It was the problem was me, you know. Yeah.
I think if you want to be in the very top, like Jason Doyle kind of guys, they're racing something like 15 heats before they service their engines, you know.
Yeah.
And it quickly also becomes a fashion, because if one guy does it, then everybody does it, you know. And for myself, when I started long track, I needed for sure to get the right engine. So I had to go to somebody who had a reputation for doing good stuff, yeah.
But long track is also a different type of engine, you know, compared to a speedway engine. So it's more understandable that you need a quite fast engine that doesn't need to live that long. But you're racing the world championships, is something different, you know.
Yeah.
But to start with long track, you don't need that. To start with long track, to start with speedway, you don't need that.
No, exactly.
You need just to have fun.
That's it.
And a good trainer that helps you, and then get you, and trainers you find everywhere in the clubs.
Yeah, myself with long track, you know, I've had a really good relationship with Matthias Kröger and also Brian Karger, which they're good guys. They have a good reputation. They've been in the sport for a long time, and especially Matthias, I've really, really relied a lot on him, and you know, I owe a lot of my success to him, and obviously also the rest of my team.
It's I think the cost needs to go down. We can agree on that. Yeah. Especially for the young kids.
Exactly.
Okay, you race the Speedway the long track Grand Prix. You're racing that for next season, of course. But what about the traditional Speedway sport? Speedway European Championship, Speedway Grand Prix. Do you have any plans?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I'm very hungry on racing these days. I got a good team behind me, a lot of good sponsors, so I'm going full out for all of it. You know, I'm gonna take part in all the qualifying rounds there is, and then we'll have to see how it goes. You know, I think in my team it's very important that we are having fun, and for a few years I didn't have fun, and the results wasn't good as well. So we are going back to basics. We're having fun, and we are very serious. Obviously, while we're having fun, we got good gear. So we'll see where it takes us. You know, I'm full of a burning desire inside me. So it's going to be interesting those next few years.
I met you in Axvalla in Sweden on the long track Nordic Championship. It was Peter Jansson's Nordic Championship there.
Yeah.
And I saw how you behaved against your competitors, your other Danish riders, and so on. And it was like you made it like a group, even if you were competitors. Is this how you operate normally? Because you spread a lot of sunshine in the pits.
Yeah, well, you know, I idolize a guy like Greg Hancock a lot, you know, and what he has always done and shared his experience, you know, and tried to be a really good guy. I look up to that, and I try to be like that too myself, because I think that we need to have a good time. Obviously, on the track we are competitors, but off the track we need to stick together to make the sport fun to be a part of, you know.
Yeah. because I noticed this when I came to Sweden, when I raced myself in Sweden. I broke something on my bike, and suddenly it was full of other fathers standing there fixing my motorcycle. In Norway, we are not used to that.
No.
There you are alone. Even if you're in a team, you were alone a little bit. But in Sweden, we got help. Then I saw when I met you there at the long track individual Nordic Championship, you go and help your competitors. You were helping your competitors that you were going out to race against, and I just have to take off my hat. This is a gentleman thing to do.
Yeah, but I think if you can't be man enough to help somebody in need, I think you should take a good look at yourself.
Yeah.
The action happens on track, and we should all be able to go to track to race, and the fastest guy there is the winner, not in the pitch. So I think if we all were more like that, we would also be better racers. Instead of keeping the tricks up in your sleeve, share them with your fellow racers in Denmark, and Sweden, and Norway, and that way we can develop the sport, much like in Poland.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with this philosophy about sharing and helping out and doing all this stuff. Will you race normal Speedway for any clubs this season? Do you have any plans to do that?
Yeah, I've signed a contract with Czesław in Poland for the second year running. I'm also taking part in Slangerup first division team here in Denmark, and Holsted's Super League team.
Yes.
And then I'm with Gripane in Sweden. So
Gripane, yeah.
It'll be a fairly busy schedule if we get racing, or when we get racing, because obviously
we don't know.
Corona makes it a bit different for us all.
Yeah, we have a nice situation right now. Norway was totally shut down, I think, yesterday or something like that. So,
yeah.
And Poland now, we heard Kuba telling us now live that Poland, you can't go to visit your next city even. They closed down the roads and everything.
Yeah.
So, and we couldn't even get him in as media to the stadiums just to watch the practice.
No. And I think it's possible maybe in Poland for them to do the extra league in the first league with no crowds. But the second league, I think they'll struggle to race with no crowds. And much like the same in Sweden and Denmark, without crowds, it's really hard to make it run around.
Yeah, I know. And the Swedish government came out, I think, 1 or 2 weeks ago and said that they would probably have a sports with crowd now when the season starts.
I heard, yeah.
Yeah, and if that happens, that will be good for the clubs. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. It's crazy days we're living in, talking about going to Speedway and there's no people.
Yeah.
You can't invite people.
Last year when I won the Grand Prix in Czesław and there was nearly no people in the stands, it was the best feeling in the world, but it still felt so wrong in many ways,
Yeah, I told you to send me a picture of yourself, because I talked with my guy and he didn't have a picture of you that he could find straight away. So you sent me one, and it looks so sad when you have this mask on, but it says so much too.
It's just not the same, but winning is winning, but the whole atmosphere and everything, it's like something is definitely missing,
Yes. What do you think will be your future if you look in 10 years in ahead? Do you will continue being in the Speedway sport?
For myself, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids now, Anakin and Enzo, Anakin is nearly 5 and Enzo is becoming 3, which they've got bikes, and I'm sure they will be racers. I don't know for sure, but they seem to like it a lot, like myself. And I think as long as I can keep fit, I'll keep racing. I don't see, 10 years ahead, I think I'll still be racing, and I'll still be taking part at top level. That's my goal. Things can change quickly, obviously, but hopefully I can be a part of changing our sport for the better and bringing more people back to the sport, both as racers and also visitors to look. I love Speedway, I love long track, I love racing, and I want to give something back to the sport that has given me so much.
So at another time we will have Jurica Pavlic on, from Croatia.
Yeah.
Because he's talking about something with the bike, but I can't tell you so much more than that right now. But he's working on something. It will be very interesting for families and young kids and everything. And this is also something that Mark Lemon was touching on, that he wanted some more standardization, for kids to make it easier. And this is something I guess you will also support.
Absolutely. Anything to bring more people into the sport is fantastic in my ways. Obviously, I'm not too big a fan of electric bikes.
No, me neither.
I think a speedway bike needs to make noise and smell of methanol and R40.
Absolutely.
But if we can manage together as a speedway sport to bring the cost down and bring people into the sport, into the stadium, to make it more of a show, we need to give more back to the people that come and watch, and don't charge too much as well to get into the stadiums.
I totally agree. And when I was the leader in Oslo Speedway, what you're saying, I proved. Because we had 10 people that didn't want even to come there and watch, but they came because they were family. 10 people, no one paid anything. But we changed this around, and we had like 1,500 people paying to watch, and they paid 150 Norwegian kroner. That's 15 euro. To come in and watch, pay some extra for some program. We made a lot of money in the kiosk, and made sure that we had enough kiosks to serve everyone and a little bit more, and we made something there. Shame that this died. Shame that this died, but we what you're saying, we proved it, because so many new people was calling to come and try this sport.
Yeah, exactly. I can tell you that here in Denmark on long track, Erik Gundersen is these days he's actually building a new long track bike for people to come and try. It's been supported by a couple of sponsors. My own sponsor, Transport here, has been a part of it. And this bike will be for people to come and try, because then they don't have to buy a bike to try racing. And hopefully that can be one of the things that will bring more riders to long track as well, because as I found myself, long track has so much to offer. It's very, very thrilling. It's great guys. It's much more friendly than I've ever felt Speedway was, because Speedway is a bit more cold on the top,
Yes, it is.
But in long track, it seems like everybody is friendly. They share tips and tricks, which it's just how I think things should be, really.
I agree with you, and you see long track sport the same way I do, actually. So this thing that you say, that Erik Gundersen, which is a great guy. I met him also in Axvalla, and I met him many places all around the world over the years. And he's always been so positive, like a big mentor for everyone, which comes with some. How he been playing a part in your career?
Well, especially the last 3 years, I've been working really closely with Erik. He for nearly 5 years he kept asking me to come and try long track, and I said to him, Erik, you must be crazy. Long track, it's dangerous. It's fast, and the tracks are really special on the grass. But he brought me onto it, and I tried it, and I like it. And then now, I feel very privileged to call Erik my friend and my mentor, and he has given me so many things to think about on and off the track, which has made me a better rider and person. So he has so much to offer to the sport, and when you think about what he's been through and how much enthusiasm he still has, it's unbelievable.
it's insane, and any other normal person would quit and forget about the sport and do something totally different, you know.
Yeah,
But he's still there, he's fighting, he's getting his way up, and he's always smiling. I never met him when he was not smiling.
exactly, you know, and obviously Henrik is also a big reason why we have success on 80cc and 250, because he's working with all the youngsters, preparing them for to come. And I think it's important in any part of the sport that you have guys like Henrik, who has been at the very top level and is willing to share, you know, what it takes to go there. Because I think that some of our younger riders are a bit spoiled, and they feel that, you know, they can do whatever they want and it's easy. But you still have to treat people right, and you still have to be humble to become a good sportsman. And winning is not just it, you know, there's more to it to be a good sportsman.
You have a name, a career, sponsors, and absolutely. But to be a little bit crazy also helps.
But you know, you can be crazy on the track, and you can act quite normal off the track. I think it's possible.
I think so too. I see you picked up a lot of stuff from many of your great fellow Speedway men around you. It's great. Can we come back to you a little bit later in the season and see how everything is going?
Yeah, you should be more than welcome.
Thank you.
Anytime.
So we will end it here, Kenneth. Thank you for joining us here at Speedway Crazy Show, and we will check back on you a little bit later.
My pleasure. Take care. Thanks for having me.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's what we had with you with Kenneth Kruse Hansen for this episode number 9 of Speedway Crazy Show. Next week we will have this guy, Szymon Wozniak from Poland. He will join us and tell us about his career and the future for him. See you. Bye.